timarandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam jena tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha.
Okay, that's great. You're tightened.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminite Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi.
I'm not sure whether it might be possible for me to play.
Govardhana
Then it doesn't have to go through. Can it be picked up by the mic?
Nirvishesha Shunya.
Okay, so you fix it so it works. Okay. I'll leave.
Paschatya Deshatarine Jayatse Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Dharma Dharma Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Dhamma, Dhamma Dhamma, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare and again, everyone. And again, all together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare and again, everyone. Krishna, Krishna, and again, everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskatya Deshitarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So tonight we will begin this great Puranic epic. And I must apologize because this book cannot really be offered in merely 5 presentations. Each verse is so profound, and I am obliged to remove so much in order to make this presentation. So, along with my apology, let us begin. The first 11 verses of this story are an offering of obeisances by Srila Sanatana Goswami in themselves. They are so profound wealth of knowledge because Sanatana Goswami was a very dear follower of Sri Chaitanya. This book collects the essence of the scriptures teaching devotional service. These essential teachings I have personally realized under the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I have received them from his dear devotee, Sri Rupa. Can we start the music, please? I start the music, please. Yes. Perhaps we have all heard how the devoted king Maharaj Parikshit, the king of Hastinapur, was cursed by a foolish Brahmin boy, and he had only 7 days to live. Accepting this as divine mercy, he renounced his kingdom and sat by the Ganges, surrounded by great wise sages who were all giving him their directions on how to prepare for the end. Sukadeva Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, arrived and spoke to the king. And that wisdom is contained in the 12 cantos of the Srimad Bhagavatam. After Sukadeva taught Maharaj Parikshit, he no longer feared his impending death. He was absorbed in pure love for Sri Krishna. And now, as the time came near for the king to ascend to the destination he desired, his mother approached him in great distress. She was impelled to see him once more, knowing that she would never see him again. She did not want to lose this last opportunity to hear from him. Blessed Uttara said, "My dear son, please extract the essence of what Sukadev has taught you and quickly reveal it to me." The king replied, "Mother, at a time like this, one should observe silence, but your delightful question impels me to speak. Tonight, and for 5 days in a row, we are so fortunate that we too will hear what she was told. And we too can develop our understanding of what is the finest and the most valuable perfection of life. So please come on time for this extraordinary recitation of Srila Sanatana Goswami's Brihat Bhagavatam Rita. So our story begins in Prayag, where a group of exalted sages had gathered during the month of Magh. They had taken their bath and they were happily seated before the deity of Sri Madhava and feeling very satisfied, as if their goal of life had been fulfilled. They praised one another, saying, "You are the recipient of Lord Krishna's greatest mercy." At that time, a first-class Brahmana arrived at that holy place. He was fully absorbed in devotion to the Lord. Richly endowed with assets, he was the spiritual leader of the region. And his retinue surrounded him as he prepared to distribute food to all that were present. First, he collected many valuable items for the worship of the Lord and purified a large area of the ground, and then swiftly built a handsome altar, which he smeared with mud with his own hand and covered it all with a beautiful canopy. He placed carefully his shalagram shila on an auspicious golden throne and worshipped the Lord with great devotion. He performed all his prescribed rituals, and then he offered homage to everyone who was present, and especially respect to the sannyasis, the householders, and the brahmacharis. And then he fed them all personally with his own hand. With folded hands, he again went before the shalagram and offered the Lord all the pious credits that he had earned during this sacrifice. And then he placed the deity comfortably in a box to rest, and he prepared to return home. Narada Muni had been watching everything from a great distance, and he came running and he announced, "Here is the Lord's most dear devotee." Narada Muni is always enthusiastic. He ran to the Brahmin and declared him, "You are the recipient of Krishna's highest mercy. O leader of the Brahmanas, you have received Krishna's greatest favor. You have such good qualities like wealth, prosperity, property, generosity, and personal opulence." Hearing himself being praised in this way, the Brahmin became greatly embarrassed, and he informed Narada that he was just insignificant. And he told him about the excellences of a certain king in South India who worships with piety far beyond, far superior to his own. In the southern country, he said, there lives a king whose kingdom has many, many temples of Vishnu and the demigods. Saintly devotees come from many various countries out of eagerness to see those deities, and they reside permanently in his kingdom. They relish the prasad and all the special remnants of the Lord, as well as obtaining association of so many spiritually advanced persons. As the Brahmin described the exalted character, the qualities of the king, Narada became very eager to meet him. And so he set off without delay. When Narada arrived in the kingdom of that king, he found that all the people there were absorbed in festive worship of the Lord. And seeing even greater opulence than the Brahmin had described, he approached the king, offering respect. Sri Narada said, "My Lord, you are indeed the real recipient of Krishna's mercy. I see your kingdom is so opulent. You have the finest citizens, all endowed with excellent character, prosperity, knowledge, and devotion to God." Narada, while playing his veena, expansively described the glories of the king, praising his greatness. The king, that ruler of a vast region, in turn worshipped the topmost sage and humbly replied, bowing his head down in embarrassment by the weight of hearing his own praise. The king said, "O sage amongst the demigods, I am a mere human being with a short lifespan, little opulence, and little to give others. I have no independence. I am constantly attacked by fear and ruled by the threefold miseries of life. I do not even deserve Krishna's promise that he might in future show me his mercy. You wrongly consider me an object of his compassion." The demigods, however, they are the real object of the Supreme Lord's mercy. They have effulgent bodies. They are worshipable by humans. They are sinless, fixed in goodness, free from any distress, and always happy. They act and travel as they like, and they give their blessings by granting whatever their devotees desire. O godly Narada, on the strength of their good fortune, they live in the heavenly realm, which humans on earth can only attain by perfect, pious work. My dear sage, the most distinguished of all these demigods is Puranda Indra. He has full power to reward or punish, and he gives the world life by providing rain. He rules the 3 planetary systems for 71 celestial ages, a length of sovereignty that no mundane king could ever earn, even with 100 horse sacrifices. How can I even describe Indra's great fortune? For him, Lord Vishnu himself has taken the form of Vamanadev and become his younger brother. He encourages Indra by shielding him from danger and by accepting personally the elaborate worship that Indra offers. You, of course, know all of this and much more. After respecting the king, Narada made his way to heaven. And there, in the assembly of Indra, he saw Lord Vishnu in all his splendor, surrounded by a host of demigods. He was decorated with chandan and divine ornaments and garments and a garland made of flowers from desire trees. Sitting comfortably on the back of Garuda, the Lord was worshipped with celestial offerings, while Brihaspati and other exalted sages all praised his glories. Mother Aditi pampered him, and he in turn delighted each of them with his affectionate words. Seeing this, Narada was very, very, very pleased. And although he had come to meet Indra, he was first able to see how the Supreme Lord is being worshipped by Indra, and how he shone forth, Indra shone forth in his own opulence as he sat on a throne next to the Lord, shedding a downpour of tears. Then, when the Lord retired to his own palace, Narada had an opportunity to glorify Indra and his good fortune, claiming that there was no one more blessed than he. Narada said, You have surely received the Lord's mercy, because demigods like Surya and Chandra and Yama, what to speak of other rulers of other planets, they all obey your orders. You are the ruler of all planets, and sages like me are your subjects, and the Vedas praise you as the Lord of the universe, for you bestow the fruits of religion and irreligion. How wonderful that Lord Narayan has become your younger brother, born of the same womb, honoring all the ways of civilized life. He always treats you with the greatest respect. Indra, in response, welcomed Narada, and in a soft, humble voice, he said, "My dear Narada, expert in the arts of the Gandharvas, why are you making fun of me? I am not the recipient of such mercy. My father and mother performed many severe austerities by which they satisfied the Supreme Lord, who responded by appearing as my brother. We, residents of heaven, are tainted with faults like rivalry and jealousy. And for such acts as killing of a Brahmana, we become entangled in the reactions of sin. And we live in constant fear of losing our posts. What happiness do we truly enjoy? But you should know, O best son of Brahma, that your own father is the true recipient of the favor of Lord Hari. He is directly the son of Lord Vishnu and the husband of Lakshmi. In one day of Brahma, 14 Indras like me come and go. Brahma's night is of the same duration. He protects the universe from chaos by establishing Vedic principles, and he creates the social laws for individual classes of human beings. Thus, Brahma not only creates the universe, but he maintains it as well. Living together on Brahma's planet is the incarnation of the Supreme Lord called Mahapurush. He is the 1,000-headed first incarnation. From his navel appears a lotus stem, and at the top of that stem grows a lotus flower, where Brahma is born. Brahma saw that this lotus, on which he is situated, was spread throughout the universe. And he contemplated how to create all the planets which were previously merged within that very same lotus. And then, in meditation, Lord Brahma discovered the 1,000-headed Mahapurush, who at first had been invisible to him from his lotus seat. Then he offered prayers to that Lord, and he made one special request. He said, "My Lord, may you come and live on my planet in this very form." And thus, the first Lord of creation became Brahma's constant guest. Hearing these words, Narada replied, "Well said, sir. Well said," and hastily went to Brahma's planet. When Narada arrived, he first heard an enormous sound, a tremendous sound, which was the many sacrifices that were being performed unceasingly with great devotion by the sages on Brahmaloka. He then beheld the Supreme Lord in his Mahapurusha form, looking very much satisfied, decorated with crowns of matted locks. The Lord in his 1,000-headed form, the personification of sacrifice, had appeared there with his consort just to accept the offerings and delight his worshippers. At the Lord's request, Brahma then instructed his sons to continue the sacrifices, while he himself went to his own royal court to deliberate on the management of the universe. As Brahma sat comfortably on his universal throne, absorbed in hearing and reciting the glories of the Lord, tears flowed from his eyes. Surrounding Lord Brahma in attendance were the personified powers of universal rulership. Narada came very close and offered respects to his father, falling down like a stick on the ground. And then he stood up and he spoke. Narada said, "It is you who have truly received the mercy of Lord Hari. After all, you are the master of all masters of living beings in the universe, the grandfather of all the worlds. You alone create, maintain, and devour the 14 worlds. You forever rule the universe, and you are known as self-born. Within the universe, there is no one higher than you. Even Lord Narayan's Vaikuntha planet is found inside your world. Lord Narayan resides always here in his manifest form as Mahapurush, and he eats all the sacrifices and grants all the sacrificial results. Although in a distant past you made many attempts, you were unable to find him by performing austerities. However, by performing austerities, you finally saw him for just a moment in your heart. Thus, loudly praising Lord Brahma and bowing down before him with great devotion, the sage Narada sang Brahma's glories as he had heard them from Indra and seen with his own eyes. Merely by hearing Narada, Lord Brahma grew disturbed. He anxiously covered his ears and said over and over again, I am just a servant, I am just a servant, I am just a servant, I am just a servant. Then with some effort, he checked his anger, which stirred within him, by hearing what no one should hear. And he rebuked his son Narada. Brahma said, I am not the supreme. On what authority do you say this? Haven't I constantly taught you about this since you were a little boy? Mahamaya, Krishna's personal energy, employs her material modes to create, maintain, and demolish this world. All of us are subject to her and bewildered. I am always deluded by various conceits. I think myself the controller, the grandfather, the spiritual master of the universe. Proud of my birth from Krishna's lotus navel, I think myself a great ascetic, his great worshipper. I am overwhelmed by the countless duties of universal management and worrying about the imminent destruction of my planet. I live in terror. I live in terror of the all-devouring end of time. And all I want for myself is liberation. Just consider, my dear professor of logic. He loves only devotion. And recently, by my magic, I stole the calves and the young friends of the Lord who he was watching after in Vrindavan. I took them away while the boys were having lunch. I then saw some most amazing wonders, and I became frightened. Offering prayers, I bowed to the Lord, and I thought, I am so arrogant. But now, in his pastime as a cowherd boy, he has tricked me, fearing that I would commit more offenses if I stayed there too long. I then went away. What else do I need to tell you about my ill fortune? In fact, in this universe, I see no one equal to Mahadev Shiva. He is famous as the dearest friend of the Lord. Lord Shiva, as if ridiculing materialistic people like me, who are simply addicted to sense enjoyment, goes around naked, wearing a garland of bones and covered all over with ashes from the crematorium. He moves around aimlessly like a madman, yet he is unable to conceal his glories. With joy, he carries on his head the Ganga, born from the water that washed Krishna's lotus feet. By Krishna's grace, he, Lord Shiva, and his wife are able to award liberation to candidates like me who eagerly want it. In the midst of all the pomp and luxury of heavenly rulership, many demigods quietly harbor the desire for liberation. Speaking with humility, Lord Brahma described himself as simply another appointed administrator with selfish motives of his own. Just as the personality of Godhead Krishna, brought under control by the devotion of servants like me, resides on my planet and in heaven and elsewhere, Lord Shiva resides in Kailash, displaying suitable pastimes. Indeed, everyone who happens to live on Lord Shiva's planet is liberated. So to consider Lord Shiva different from Krishna is a serious spiritual deviation. The personality of Godhead tolerates offenses against himself, but not against Lord Shiva. The Puranas sing of Lord Hari's compassion to Lord Hara. You surely know all this and more, O thoughtful sage. To recall these glories, you need only exercise your memory. Narada bowed down to his spiritual master, Lord Brahma. And when Brahma saw his son eager to set off for Kailash, he told him something more. He said, other than Lord Shiva, everyone in every part of the universe, everyone in the upper, middle, and lower, everyone is imperfect. The abode of Lord Shiva lies outside the 7 coverings of the universe where everyone is imperfect. In that place, in Shivaloka, there is no unhappiness. That world is attained by the best of Lord Shiva's devotees, the ones who understand him, Lord Shiva, to be non-different than Lord Krishna. In that abode, he displays his full opulence, including ever-existing palaces and aeroplanes and unlimited personal assets, of religion, wealth, sense enjoyment, liberation, and devotion to the Supreme Lord. You have the power to go there because you have pure devotion for Him. So therefore, go and take shelter of Him and see the real mercy of Krishna. Narada received these instructions from his father, and he bowed down with full respect, and he departed immediately for Shivaloka with joyful anticipation, singing loudly, Shiva, Shiva, Krishna, 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 Shiva, Shiva, Krishna, Shiva, Krishna. And arriving in Shivaloka, he saw Lord Shiva. He began to excitedly share everything he had been told by Lord Brahma with Lord Shiva. Narada came closer, hoping to touch the lotus feet of Lord Shiva, but Lord Shiva forcibly drew Narada closer and embraced him. Without hesitating, he asked Narada with respect, "Dear son of Brahma, what are you saying?" Narada continued. He said, "You are the greatest recipient of Krishna's mercy. The best Vaishnavas always aspire for your mercy. Lord Krishna also has great regard for you and extensively spreads your glories, even praising you as non-different from Lord Vishnu." Hearing this, Lord Shiva at once covered his ears and angrily replied, "Dear son of Brahma, what are you saying? I am not the Lord of the universe, nor the object of the Lord's mercy. I am just a poor soul, always hankering for the favor of the servants of his servants." Lord Shiva's first reaction was to feel ashamed at hearing himself being praised. And then he thought that since this praise was altogether untrue, Narada might be making fun of him. Oh, how painful this is. My dear Narada, free from every trace of false pride, you are free from every trace of false pride. And how can you compare me, the root of all pride, to Krishna, the Lord of the prideless sages? One may think that the universal controller of false ego should be immune to its influences, but it is not so. I am covered by so many false identities. I consider myself the Lord of the universe, the all-knowing giver of knowledge, the liberated bestower of liberation, the devoted granter of devotion to Vishnu. But when the fearful time of annihilation arrives, in which everything must be devoured, I am obliged by the mode of ignorance to destroy the entire cosmos. When I think of that, I feel ashamed. You joyfully praise the power of me and my wife to bestow liberation. But we think this power is terrible because the Lord's devotees feel distressed to hear of it. Rather, those who have obtained the essence of the Lord's mercy are the residents of Vaikuntha. They are satisfied simply to worship Lord Hari with devotion. They can travel freely wherever they want, protecting and promoting the cause of the Lord's devotees and the Lord's devotional service. They can always see Lord Hari, who inspires everyone's pleasure and whose lotus feet are caressed by the goddess of fortune. Their life in his company is pure joy. Truly, I tell you, such devotees are limitlessly dearer to him, and they're limitlessly dear to me. They're as dear to me as the Supreme Lord himself. My highest ambition is to have their mercy. And that is why I say that the residents of Vaikuntha are the greater than anyone else. They are the most beloved devotees. Then Lord Shiva gave a little extra information to Narada. Secretly, quietly, he said, and there is one great recipient of Krishna's mercy, greater than your father, Brahma, greater than me, Lord Shiva, and greater even than the Lord's servants like Garuda, and greater than the goddess of fortune. His name is Prahlad. He is famous throughout the world as the dearmost devotee of Krishna. His good fortune is unique amongst Vaishnavas. Lord Nrsingadev once tried to entice Prahlad with liberation just to allow others to see Prahlad's resolve to stay fixed in pure devotion. And it was by Prahlad's grace that his grandson Bali and his great-grandson Bana were dealt with favorably by the Lord. The only reason the Lord pardoned them from their offenses and elevated them was to please Prahlad. So quickly, go to Sutala, offer Prahlad your countless blessings, embrace him, and tell him that I too embrace him again and again. Hearing this glorification of Prahlad, Narada immediately bowed to Lord Shiva and set off for Sutala. And it is here that we will leave Narada for this evening. He has already pursued his efforts to ascertain the dearest devotee, and he's followed every lead. And each Vaishnava is sharing with him, you will see, each Vaishnava is sharing with him the greatness of another exalted soul who they admire. For example, Lord Brahma can understand Krishna's mercy on Lord Shiva because it resembles something within his own experience. Exceptional mercy obtained by a person much, much, much greater than oneself is beyond one's ability to understand. Only things that are some way similar can be meaningfully compared as greater and lesser. For example, the weight of a blade of grass is so extremely different from that of a mountain, that one cannot sensibly compare a blade of grass and a mountain. And hence each Vaishnava shares the glories of one who is greater without rushing forward too much in their comparisons. And tomorrow night, we will continue this fascinating journey towards superlative excellence. Thank you. Hare Krishna.